Howdy howdy, my name is John, and this video is a review and a discussion of the book The Positronic Man by Isaac Asimov and Robert Silverberg. This book is a novelization of the short story that Isaac Asimov wrote called The Bicentennial Man. Asimov wrote The Bicentennial Man in 1976, and then Silverberg and Asimov released The Positronic Man in 1993. There is also a 1999 movie entitled The Bicentennial Man, starring Robin Williams, that was released in 1999. That movie is based off of both the short story and the novel. I want to talk a little bit about the movie first. The movie isn't really the best adaptation of either the short story or the novel. They kind of start at the same place, and they actually end at the same place, but in the middle, the story gets very different. I think the movie actually misses out on what makes the short story and the novel special. I read the short story first, and I read it in this copy of The Complete Robot. However, the story has been included in other collections of Asimov short story collections. I really enjoyed the short story. The short story is only about 40 pages. The short story says more in 40 pages than most novels do in 400 pages. And to be perfectly honest, you don't really need to read The Positronic Man. I don't really think that the novel adds anything special to the short story. You can just read the short story and kind of get the gist of the story and enjoy it. However, what the novel does do is it does flesh out the story. The short story is very bare bones. The novel, however, does take the time to really dive into the story and really flesh it out. We get to know the cast of characters a whole lot better. Basically, all three, the movie, the short story, and the novel, follow the story of a robot who is named Andrew. Now, Andrew has the serial number NDR113, and it's from the NDR that Andrew comes into play. Andrew becomes the household robot of a family with two young daughters. We then follow the robot as he lives 200 years. The title is a bit of a spoiler. He does live at least 200 years. Andrew will stay associated with this family through the years. The young girls quickly learn how to manipulate Asimov's famous 3 laws of robotics, and they learn how to get Andrew to do the things that they want to do, especially at the beginning, to play with them. One day, while they're at the beach, Andrew picks up a piece of driftwood, and while the family is sleeping, he carves it into a pendant for the youngest daughter. When the father notices the pendant and notices the care that Andrew used in carving it, the carving aligns with the grain of the wood, and it's very well done. The father sets Andrew to creating furniture. At first, the father gives this furniture away. However, the youngest daughter insists that her father sell these works and give Andrew the money. As the years progress, Andrew picks up new interests and pursues those interests with his spare time. One interesting thing to note here is that whenever Andrew comes up with a new idea, usually the oldest member of the family has trouble adjusting to that idea. It's usually the youngest member of the family that helps Andrew to achieve his newest line of thought. By having a robot as a main character, Asimov really kind of shows us what it means to be human. Andrew learns and grows and adapts and changes, and he begins to assert himself in new ways. As the novel progresses, he becomes more and more independent. I gave the novel 5 stars, and I didn't specifically rate the short story, but I would have also given it 5 stars as well. The movie by itself, it's okay. It's maybe a 3-star movie. As an adaptation, it's not really that great of an adaptation. It's probably just a 1-star, strictly speaking, as an adaptation. There's one more thing I want to say about this set of stories. That is a spoiler. The movie, the short story, and the novel all end pretty much the same way. If you want to avoid the spoiler, then thank you for watching. These stories all end when Andrew decides that the only way that he will be accepted as fully human is to die. He arranges a surgery that will cause his body to cease functioning. The movie kind of explicitly states just how stupid this really is. It kind of makes you wonder, why wasn't Andrew able to accept what he was? Andrew is a robot, and had he been able to accept the fact that he was a robot and not human, he could have had a much longer, happier, and more productive life. But at the end of the day, isn't it this inability of humans to accept what we are? Isn't that what makes us human? Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.